Hey guys, Eerie is here and welcome along to another video. You join me today here in the next round of the Nations Cup with some serious air traffic confusion up ahead. We're here in the Red Bull Juniors for 19 laps around the Blue Moon Speedway Tri-Oval. Starting the race then, we're going to jump straight in. We'll get back to qualification later on. But we're going to come down into turn number 1 where we're going to take it extremely easy, especially on the first lap of the race. This part of the track is the hardest part of the track in this one. The rest of the track is pretty much flat out if you get it right. Well, turns 2 and 3 definitely are. But turn number 1, you've just got to be a little bit careful. If you aren't smooth enough, you'll get loose, as you will see myself and others get throughout this race. As I was talking there, you would have seen the yellows were out. The Portuguese driver there has been spun around, he's had some sort of issue, so we've jumped up to 16th. So overall, an okay start to this one. We completed lap number 1 without any issues, and we're going to start lap number 2 just sitting here in the slipstream. There's no need for tyres in this one, there's only fuel required. So going to save as much of it as I can through early shifting and generally lifting off into turn number 1. I'm going to pick up another place here, up into 15th briefly before being overtaken by the Spaniard, who we are going to stay with here and take the high line round turn number 2. Now we're doing this to stay out of trouble, stay out of the traffic, but as we say that, they're 4 wide up ahead and keep your eye on the Swiss driver. Now there's contact and I'm facing the wrong way going backwards down the start-finish straight. I'm trying to keep it out of the walls, as I'm sure the damage was on this one. I can't quite remember. I thought I could avoid it, but the final clip there sent me round. And to add insult to injury, I get a 5-second penalty there as I'm passed by the Portuguese that we passed earlier on lap number 1. On the face of it, it looked like that was the Swiss's fault, but I had a look at that one back in the replay. He was unsettled by the Portuguese driver who was rubbing shoulders with the Frenchman. Now that's really disappointing, as I really enjoy the races here at Blue Moon Speedway, but the contact with the penalty there has really ruined this one for me. And as I only do one shot at these FIAs, that's going to be us done. So really going to have to try and stay cool, get my head down and see if we can pick up anything from the remainder of this race. As always though, I'm really keen to get your guys' view on any instance or anything that happened in the races that I partake in. So let me know what you thought of that one in the comment section down below. Could I have done anything? Could I have avoided that? For me, I think it was just a racing incident and I've just got to suck it up and get on with it. But as I say, let me know, I'm keen to hear your views. So we're on lap number 4 now. After all of that, we're circulated in dead last, about 30 seconds behind the leader. We are though catching the car in front. That's our fellow Brit who's in 17th place. It looks like he's going pretty slow, he's losing a lot of speed as you can see, which further backs up my theory about the damage being on. Now as we come across the line to start lap number 5, we're in this slipstream here. As I go to make the pass, watch this, he almost turns into me. I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but I make the move stick and I'm up to 17th where I started. However, not for long. So into turn number 1 there, I touched my inside wheel on the blue raised bit underneath the track. It's unsettled the car, I got oversteer, and when I corrected it, it just sent me straight into the wall. So I've lost time there. I got myself a penalty which I'll of course have to serve next time around, and whilst I've gone up to 16th, because there was a Frenchman serving his penalty, I think he was, or maybe he has some damage by the looks, but either way I expect to lose both 17th and probably 18th as I serve my penalty this time around. So this is the blue bit that I hit here, giving it a wide berth this time around, coming through the gates just have a quick look behind to see who's around, get off the racing line, and then try and get back up to speed. Jumping forward now to lap number 10. We've just come out of turn number 1 and there are issues up ahead. So we've just passed a Brit and we're now up to 16th, and we're up ahead, about to overtake a Pole who's slow and with a 5-second penalty. I feel his pain as I go around the outside of him there, but a couple of places gained, so happy with that. And we're going to start lap number 11 now, and we're circulating quite well. You can see there with the times on the right hand side that they've been relatively stable. Well, certainly more stable than they were in the first few laps anyway, and myself and 14th up ahead are a long way behind the pack. Now I'm going to try and work with him here to close the gap to those ahead, and I'm going to start bump drafting him. So for those that don't know, bump drafting is a tactic mainly used in NASCAR. Understandably it's not used in formulas like this because you just damage the front wings, but because there's no real damage in Gran Turismo Sport, it's possible to do. You're going to see it in action here as we start lap number 12. Bump drafting is where the following car, who's me in this case, uses their slipstream to pull up behind the lead car and literally bump into the rear of them, which will push the lead car obviously faster down the road. Now you have to be very careful to hit them square on when you're doing this, otherwise you can spin them, especially when you're at high speeds like round an oval or a tri-oval as we are today. And you also need to be careful not to do it just for a tricky corner like turn 1 here, or again you can spin them. So I'm bumping him again into turn number 3. Now either the Frenchman doesn't understand what I'm doing or just does not want to play ball. Now as we start lap number 13, you're going to see that as we close up on him, he is going to move out of the slipstream. Now I don't really get that. He knows that I'm not going to bump him into turn number 1. I haven't done it on a few occasions. The only time I've bumped him is down the start finish straight or into turn number 3, but it's just not helping us. So I'm going to bump him here again. It's going to allow me to do it here, which again is just helping us along quite nicely. Look at our lap times there, very consistent, reasonably quick, and we will be catching the guys up in front. But again, in a strange move coming out of the final corner, I thought he was going into the pits when I was going to follow him in, but he didn't. So now there's no working together anymore. So I come out of the pits here being very aware of who is around me, because I'm a lap down at this point, and I accidentally put some new boots on, losing yet more time. But thankfully it looks like you're ghosted until you get up to speed here, which is lucky as the Dutchman drives right through me there. I think I almost unghosted as he came through there because you heard a little bump, but thankfully we both lived to tell the tale. So rejoining the action here later on. To be honest, the second half of the race has been very quiet. I haven't really shown you any of it because I've just been circulating, trying not to overthink the racing incident from earlier. Now there's been lots of negativity around the game at the moment. I've probably fueled a little bit of that myself because I shared my frustrations on it too in an earlier video. But now that the dust has settled, I've kind of had to think about it, and I'm just going to try and ignore the issues with the game and concentrate on having fun on GT Sport for the next couple of months. Work is very busy at the moment and I don't see it letting up anytime soon, so any chance of practicing is pretty much out the window at this point. So thinking about it logically, rather than worrying about driver rating and championship points and such, I'm just going to try and go back to enjoy racing, having good races with you guys on track, and creating videos off the back of those good races for you guys, because after all that's why I started making videos on YouTube, because GT Sport and general sim racing is my stress reliever after a hard day, week, month at work, and creating videos is my sort of side hobby. So I'm going to go back to what I enjoy. So I hope you enjoyed this one, even if the race didn't quite go to plan. Another small haul of points for us to add to the tally, but as I say, trying to get away from worrying about that, which is why I'm not going to put my driver rating in the end screen for this one. But I hope your race here went better than my one. Let me know how you get on in the comment section down below, but for now guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit that like button and make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.